Okay, I will. The ABC has launched an internal investigation into whether an episode of Q&A broke editorial standards.
When trying to bring about significant change, when is aggression and violence a better option than assertiveness, strong arguments and modelling the behaviour you expect of others?
Ashton?
When none of that other stuff works.
Well, that didn't get a thunderous round of applause. Oh wait, let's pan back to see what the audience reaction is. Sorry, wrong clip.
It's as simple as that?
Yep.
I have a great answer for this that a lot of people do not like. I want patriarchy to fear feminism. And there is a chapter in my book on violence. There is a chapter on my book about white women who voted for Trump and white women who accept crumbs from patriarchy because they allow their whiteness to trump their gender. I'm fully aware of this. But at the end of the day, even those white women have to recognize that nothing protects them from patriarchy. Nothing.
Oh, come on. That is not true. Firstly, the patriarchy doesn't exist. But here is what men have done. We discovered fire, so you could cook, the wheel, optical lenses, paper, the printing press, electricity, the steam engine, the telephone, vaccination, cars, the aeroplane, penicillin, the computer, the internet, and tampons. What have you given us? Oh, liquid paper and the square bottom paper bag. Great contribution.
Taxpayer dollars to ask the Ukrainians to help them cheat an election.
For me, as a feminist, the most important thing is to destroy patriarchy. And all of this talk about how if you talk about violence, you're just becoming like the men. My question, so your question is a really important one, but I'm going to answer it with another question. How long must we wait for men and boys to stop murdering us, to stop beating us, and to stop raping us? How many rapists must we kill? Not the state, because I disagree with the death penalty, and I want to get rid of incarceration, and I'm with you on the police.
So she wants to get rid of the police and incarcerations. Oh, so you want to remove the very people who protect you while you are speaking at a rally inciting violence. Gotcha.
So I want women themselves. As a woman, I'm asking, how many rapists must we kill until men stop raping us?
Oh, great tactic. When you can't answer a rational, well thought out question by an intelligent person, you fire back this garbage. There is too much scumbaggery going on today. Please wait. Now, should the ABC have pulled it from the air? What they should have investigated is why G-Mann wasn't invited on the panel to give a more balanced discussion. So who is this vile piece of scumbaggery? Well, until the ABC aired this piece of trash, I don't think anyone knew who she was. In fact, Robert Rutledge wrote on Twitter, if only you had some sort of device, something convenient, easy to operate, works in common English and not some fancy programming language, which could answer questions for you like, who is Mona Kheltahawi? But I guess you'll never know. And then he followed it up with, hi, I've added you to page 6, new page of the Who Are You Trolls of Mona. The first 3 pages are Saudis, you're on the 6th page, bottom of the first and growing column. Congratulations. Mona Kheltahawi is a freelance Egyptian-American journalist. Hang on, is that what we're doing now? Afro-American, Egyptian-American, G-Mann American. She's also a social commentator based in New York City. Oh, that just made parts of my body go all moist. Don't say moist. In her book, 7 Necessary Sins, she encourages women around the world to be as angry, ambitious, profane, violent, attention-seeking, lustful, and powerful as possible. In an interview with Elizabeth Day from The Guardian, Mona was asked, are all religions misogynistic? Absolutely, to some degree. Well, that degree in communications didn't help you. So is it absolute or to some degree? I digress. All religions, if you shrink them down, are about controlling women's sexuality. They're obsessed with my vagina. I tell them, stay outside my vagina unless I want you in there. No thanks. I think I'll just have a whiskey. Anywho, El-Tahawy is playing at being oppressed. She's donning the garb of the downtrodden to distract attention from the fact that she has had a very comfortable and privileged life. In short, she wants us to believe that she's a member of the non-privileged, and therefore she is good and you must listen to her. There's only one problem with this. It isn't true. She has had a privileged life, and I'm using the word privileged in its true sense here. She grew up in a middle-class family in Egypt. Her parents had PhDs. They worked in medicine. They even got government grants to study and work overseas, including in Britain and Saudi Arabia. A third of Egyptians live in extreme poverty. In contrast to them, she grew up in great comfort. And that's an inconvenient fact for someone who's super keen to be a member of the woke, where being oppressed gives you moral power and social influence. So woke Mona must pose as someone who lacks luxury or privilege and who cannot be expected to be polite to her detractors. This is a woke form of blacking up, where middle-class people self-identify, to use politically correct language, as oppressed to improve their social standing in PC circles and give themselves the right to lecture to the rest of us, especially white men, about how dumb and prejudiced we are. She insisted on Q&A that words such as civility and respectfulness were invented by white men for the benefit of other white men.
You know, this idea of respectability, this idea of civility, this idea of unity, all of these words, decorum, who invented those words? Those words were invented by white men for the benefit of other white men in systems and institutions that were always designed to be for white men.
Which white men? Rich, powerful white men such as Donald Trump? White men such as Rudy, an immigrant who worked on cane farms and worked as a mechanic his whole life? Or the white men who fixed the plumbing in your, no doubt, lovely apartment block in New York City? The woke elite's sweeping, dehumanizing category of white men erases everything to do with class and wealth. It views all white men, whether dirt poor or filthy rich, as culturally problematic. Do we need to shine a light on those who are still attempting to defend violence? My unwilling contribution to this taxpayer-funded episode of Q&A was an utter disgrace. The fact that ABC chose to air an entirely unbalanced panel was a disgrace. The fact that our national broadcaster, an experienced producer and senior and seasoned host chose to proceed is a disgrace. The fact it took days for the ABC to act, or rather acknowledge it had a possible problem on its hands, is a disgrace. If you push all of those layers of disgrace to one side, it's really important now that we look at the evidence confronting us. The panel consisted of 5 women and 1 non-binary person and was chaired by veteran broadcaster and presenter Fran Kelly. The ABC apparently received over 200 complaints about bad language and was interpreted by some viewers to be an incitement to violence. On Friday, Mona joined another scumbag, Clementine Ford, in public conversations events at Carriageworks. 2 scary women together. She's one up on me though. They won't even put me on the ABC anymore. Could that be because you called a conservative commentator, Miranda Devine, a pushes an anti-men narrative around kill all men while the male suicide rate soars? Or is it because you have doxed young boys and caused untold destruction to lives? Meanwhile, El-Tahawy is still standing by her comments. I'm obviously not saying women are going to go out there on the streets and kill people. Why are these white, male, right-winged commentators so obsessed with someone trying to shake people awake into noticing how horrific these statistics are and when it comes to sexual violence and murder? Last year in Melbourne, a young woman was raped and murdered in a park while walking home. How is this still happening today? If I'm asking how many rapists must we kill before men stop raping us scares men, then let them be scared. Actually, we aren't scared of you. You are the type of person we warn our children about. You're a nasty, bitter troll who bullies young children while hiding behind a victimhood mentality. It is not white, male, right-wing commentators who found the entire Q&A discussion hideous. It is everybody who truly believes in creating a harmonious society who hasn't swallowed the pill of feminist theory. And just to be clear, I'm not even offended by the free use of the word f***.
You're asking the person here who travels the world to say, fuck the patriarchy. I go online exactly to tell people to fuck off. No, I fucking don't. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
As it is true with any cult, when you are a believer in a feminist ideology, you take the leap of faith that men are the problem. You look at statistics of women murdered and see men are the issue. Feminists believe men are the problem to be fixed. The rest of us just see crime. It's a glaring difference. Feminism is nothing more than a cult. Feminism can never solve violence. Neither can violence ever solve violence. Hatred is never the answer. Extremism is never the solution. Hurling abuse should never be the response. Venom is never justified. Only respect can shape the way forward. Because the battle in life is between good and evil. There are good men and bad men. There are good women and bad women. Bad men were not appalled by the Q&A panel because they don't care. All the preaching and ideologies of brainwashing in the world cannot fix them. You good people know that violence is never, ever acceptable. And certainly this dangerous, unchallenged creep of a feminist should never have infested our national broadcaster to this extent. The sickening irony is that last Thursday, the same ABC reported a woman has been sentenced to 28 years in prison for murdering her partner. The second time she has been jailed for murdering a lover. Q&A didn't remove the video because it was offensive. They removed it because the material was so preposterous that even most left-wingers and feminists would be put off by these outrageous panellists. The video actually damages the left-wing narrative rather than promotes it. These trolls are literally insane. Word salad and carpet-munching chicken heads. I note that one of them is even pregnant and hating that she might have a cisgendered male to raise. How awful for this world that these kind of sick people get a platform to preach such hate. These women are dangerous and should not be allowed to be near children or young adults. I watched 63 minutes and 30 seconds of pure ear cancer. It's just about what you would expect from radical feminists. People like this are a cancer on Western society, and their hateful, divisive ideology needs to be challenged. A good start would be to purge the poisonous philosophy from institutions of education by sacking the teachers and professors who indoctrinate their students in this worthless garbage. As usual, I would love to know your thoughts on this vile piece of trash and the rest of the crew. It's time that the loud minorities move aside and let the quiet majority have their say. If you're still coming on this channel and you haven't hit that subscribe button, why not? Actually, Mona, before I go, why do you think so many people despise you?
I have no fucking idea.
That'd be about right. In fact, Judge Judy, what would you say about her?
You're an idiot!
Did you hit subscribe? I'm Gerald Pauschmann for The Point TV. Cheers, Rudy. Oh.